everybody, welcome to today's video. From this video, I hope you have two key takeaways. Number one, understanding the business model of DMart based on the recently announced quarterly results. And number two, how to think structurally when you are about to understand a business, when you are about to answer an interview question, and finally, when you are about to make a decision on whether you should purchase a stock versus not. Please take this as a learning exercise. I am doing the same. If there are some points that I'm not covering about DMart, please go ahead, put it in the comment section, and I would love to learn from you as well. Thank you so much for watching, and please do go ahead and hit on that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. I'm sure you will learn a lot of things from this video. Please stick until the end of this video. Now let's get started with analyzing the DMart business model. We are going to think through it structurally, and we are going to divide this video into three parts. Number one, internal and external factors. Within the internal factors, we are going to look at financial and non-financials. Now let's look at financials. In the recently released quarterly results, DMart has mentioned that their revenues, quarter-over-quarter revenues, have increased by 24.5%. Their profits have increased by close to 8 to 10%. And if you look at the P to E ratio, the PE ratio, which is indicating how expensive the stock is, this is almost close to what it was in 2020 March, which is the peak, just the starting of the COVID period. And throughout the last 3 years after March 2020, it was not as cheap as what it is today. So three financial metrics are pretty much favorable for DMart. Growth in revenues, growth in profits, and also PE looking very cheap. Now, if we look at the other factors, that is the non-financials, let's understand the business model of DMart itself. First factor let's consider is the profitability. How are these guys controlling costs? There are three angles to how they optimize on costs. Number one is the cost synergies because of the bulk buying they make. Number two is the distribution synergies, and number three is the rental synergies. Let's talk through the cost synergies first. These guys are 300 plus store network. When they purchase a particular product from their supplier, they are purchasing for 300 plus stores, which means they have the leverage to negotiate for that higher discount. And that's the reason they are pretty cheap compared to any other retailer, and they pass on those discounts to the final customer. The second thing over here is their distribution synergies. If you look at where DMart opens stores, majority of them are in the suburbs or in tier 2, tier 3 towns. Because of this, the distribution is pretty much efficient because the access to the highways is much better, and also the trucks can get to these stores in a faster way. Unlike many other supermarket stores which are located centrally in the city, it is very difficult for the trucks, for the goods to come into the store itself. So the distribution network for DMart is very well organized and is planned in a great way. The third thing also is the rental efficiencies. For any other supermarket store, the rental spend is close to 5 to 6% of their entire revenues. However, for DMart it is zero, because DMart is not going and leasing properties to open stores. Rather, DMart is going and purchasing the land. So think about it, it's not like a supermarket store, but it is more like a real estate company. So when you are investing in DMart, it is not just an investment in a supermarket store, but it's also an investment in a real estate company. Now, real estate land prices, specifically the land prices, they usually don't go down because there's a limited amount of land. Now, DMart is leveraging on this fact to ensure that the goods are much more cheaper to the final customer. The other angle is the growth. Well, the cost drivers are pretty clear. What about the growth drivers? DMart is only 300 plus store network as of now, and the prediction is that it could reach 1500 plus stores in the next 10 to 20 years. You can see the scale of cost efficiencies that it can deliver based on a 1500 plus store network. The revenue growth and also the cost savings from 1500 plus store network would be huge. It's also important to understand the type of customer that DMart is targeting. They are in that tier 2, tier 3 towns, in the suburb localities, which means they are not targeting an urban 20 to 30-year-old or 20 to 40-year-old customer. They are going for that middle-class customer who is in the tier 2, tier 3 towns. Well, they have a few stores present in the cities as well, but majority of their base is in the tier 2, tier 3 towns. And these guys prefer to go into the DMart, walk into the DMart, and they happy to get that 10 to 20% discount on a monthly basis. Now, with a very clear customer acquisition strategy, with the potential to grow the number of stores and being a real estate company, the factors are pretty much favorable. So far, we talked about the revenue drivers, we also talked about the cost drivers. And combining with what's the financials coming from this particular quarter, it's looked like a pretty good scenario for DMart. Now let's jump into the other factor which we did not discuss so far, which is the external factors. How is the economy currently doing? The inflation is pretty high, and that is the reason why the current quarter, the results are not up to the expectations, because the revenues coming from the non-essential categories like plastics, toys, garments, the spend in these particular segments is down, and that is exactly what is mentioned by their CEO in his commentary. It has nothing to do with DMart, its operations or its performance, but it is just a reflection of what's happening in the economy. If a discount retailer, a deep discount retailer like DMart is facing the heat of the economy, you can understand how other supermarkets will be facing the heat. Just to also understand, they are way better placed than other competitors because of all these factors within their level playing ground. I hope you have understood that, hey, when you are structurally giving an answer in an interview as well, you are looking into 3 to 4 buckets. In this scenario, it is internal factors, financials, non-financials, then external factors, and then go deep dive into each one of these factors. When you are analyzing a business as well, you are looking at both financials and non-financial metrics. Hope this video is helpful for you. Please go ahead, click on that like button, subscribe to the channel. Do let me know what are the things that you are taking away from this video. If there is any feedback, please go ahead, share in the comment section. Would love to learn more from you as well. Take care, guys. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.